Alright, I got my passenger side off, putting evacuation tubes on it. Brought it over here to my real clean workbench. This vise is about the only room I've got on this whole table, as you can see. I'm sure there's somebody else out there that's got stuff piled up like that. I'm not the only one, but anyway, that's what I'm working with. It's got a check valve on it, so if the motor ever backfires, it won't go up in the crankcase. This check valve will stop it. Compressor just kicked on, of course, right in the middle of the video. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in there about in the middle of the collector here. That's supposed to be where they work the best. And I'll get the welder out, seal this up around the edge, and that should be all it needs, and I'll put it back on. It didn't take me about 5 minutes to get this side off. The driver's side's a little different. Got my gearbox and the alternator in the way. It's a little bit tighter on this side. This is my hose I'm going to use. Just 5/8 hose I got from Ace Hardware. I've been looking at pictures online. Some people use black, and some people use clear stuff like this. It may be black later on, but I don't know. We'll see. If it starts looking ugly, I may change it out. But I like how this looks. I think it looks a little better than black. Today's Friday, the same day I made my last video about the rear end. As you can see, it's still not in yet. It's only been about an hour since I painted this thing gloss black. It's good enough. It's just got one coat on it. I'll let this dry for a little bit and throw a second coat before it gets dark. But yeah, I'll try to add this into my other video if I can. Well, it's done. It's about 2:30, early Saturday morning. I started on it about 12:30 Friday evening, and it's been a full 12 hours. But I got it all together, everything I could do by myself, and then Corbin, one of my buddies, he come over and helped me for a couple hours and kept me company. So yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm glad I got it done that fast. You'll see how I was talking earlier about the shocks in my last video. They're leaning in pretty good, or leaning out, whichever way, but they're on there. They look fine. Got the brake lines all hooked up. Drive shaft's back in it. The new third member I was talking about. That ought to wake it up a lot. I'm excited to see what it does. Maybe too much, I don't know. I guess all that's really left is bleed the brakes and set the bed back on tomorrow when I have some help. I'll need help with those two things. I guess I could set it on there with the tractor, but I'd just rather have somebody here to help me so nothing stupid happens. Go up here and show you the evac. Got it done too. I'll throw in some pictures where I welded the check valves in on the header. Yeah, that looks good enough for me. I'm sure it'll work. Maybe that'll solve my oil leaks. Before I had these on there, I just had these little Mr. Gasket breathers, and he just wasn't doing it. It was building so much crankcase pressure, it was blowing or trying to push my seals out, and it was leaking oil from everywhere. So hopefully that takes care of the problem. I was talking about how easy this side was to take apart. It only took me about 5 minutes or whatever. And this side, it was harder than I thought. I ended up having to take the valve cover off of this side. But the little gearbox and the alternator, they wasn't much of a problem. But it's done anyway. I'm happy with it. It's just hard to believe it's sitting here like it is. I mean, it's still just an old junky truck, but I mean, it's got work done to it for sure. It'll run. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. All right, so we got the truck back out, got it running. Me and Dad got in the other night, I think it was Wednesday night, and we drove it to town, got gas in it, checking everything out. And it does really good. It drives good, runs good, stops good, you know, no problems. So we stopped about halfway back home and make a little test hit with it. At first it spun a little bit, maybe 20 feet. It didn't ever really light the tires up, you know, just enough to leave rubber on the road. And I went, I don't know, maybe 400 feet with it, and then I let out. And it does really good. The gear change really woke it up a lot. But the 350 gear, it had a Detroit locker in it. You know, it clicks when you turn, and it frees up on axle so it don't scrub the tires like a spool. But the 456, it has a spool, and I thought it would be, you know, hard to turn and, you know, all this stuff, and hard to drive with that gear. But it's really not that bad. I mean, I can get around town and, you know, up and down the highway pretty easy without revving it too high. I mean, if you just drive it like you got sense, it's really not that bad. But yeah, when you get on it, it really wakes it up a lot compared to that 350. I mean, I don't know what it runs. I don't think I'll be able to take it to the track this year. Everything's about to close down. So we got back and we was looking it over, you know, looking for any leaks. And of course we found some oil leaks. The valve cover gaskets were leaking. That's the first thing we seen. And then we noticed it was puking coolant out of the radiator hose. It was blowing through the cap. The cap's not strong enough to hold it, so I'll throw some pictures in here and show y'all what we did. We put a different cap on there. We haven't tested it yet. We'll probably get the truck out tomorrow and make another hit or two, drive it around some. And the next thing we did, let's see, we put the cork gaskets back on and flipped the passenger side valve cover around where the hose would be in the front. Because I mean, it never acted up, but we think both of them being in the front's better because it won't collect oil in the front. You know, everything goes to the back when you take off. So I know it looks stupid with the words upside down on the valve cover, but whatever. I'd rather it work right than to look good, I guess. I mean, as y'all can see the rest of the truck, it's not all that much to look at. But it runs good. It does what it's supposed to. Besides leak oil, that really sucks. No. So we fixed that, and then I got to noticing around the oil pan, all the bolts were loose. So somehow that got overlooked, but it's fixed. They're all tight. Shouldn't be no big deal. Just little stuff like that just gets overlooked sometimes, you know. It happens. It ain't no big deal. And I'll show you about these spark plugs I was talking about in the last post. What I think I've learned is what I said. So on your jetting, on your carburetors, you know, tell how rich. If they're rich, they'll be black, and if they're lean, they'll be real light brown, and you know, anything in between. So the porcelain down here, that's your jet. That's how you determine your jet size, I believe. I mean, I've learned this from watching another video of somebody doing carburetors and tuning them and stuff. And the strap up here on top, they said that's supposed to be your timing indicator. So on my plugs, this ain't one out of the truck. It's just one I found for an example. So the top strap here, it's supposed to be for your timing. And then the porcelain, which is the white, that's supposed to be for the jet and the carburetor. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think about that, because it makes sense to me. But if I'm wrong, I wish somebody would tell me so I could try to do something different. Got the old battery tender on there. It's supposed to be in the mid-20s, low 20s every night this week, so maybe that'll save my battery for a while. But yeah, we'll try to get y'all some video of this thing running down the road tomorrow. If I can get Dad to make a video for me while I drive, or he can drive and I can make the video, whatever. I know he's probably itching to drive this thing. He's only rode in it one time, really, which is Wednesday night when we took it to town. So maybe I'll let him have a go at it since it's his motor and transmission. All right, see y'all in a minute. Alright, so we just got done making that pass, if that's what you want to call it. It spun a whole lot, which it didn't do that Wednesday night. That road was real dirty, the one that was in the video just now. And I got these tires at about 20 pounds, which that's pretty high. I think we'll try it again later. Put them on about 15, 12 pounds maybe. Try it again. But so far the oil leaks seem to slow down at least, which I don't see nothing real bad on it right now. I mean, And there's a little bit left up here from where it leaked before. I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but it's a little wet. That cap seems to work good too. It held it in. Didn't have no blowouts. So that's a good thing. That problem should be fixed. I mean, I don't think it's sealed up completely yet because there's a couple of drops under it still. You see them drops over there. It's not the rear main. I think it's just the pan, like Dad was saying. It's a chrome pan. They tend to leak. So I'll just give it some time, and if it don't seal up, then I may have to change the pan, put a steel one on it. But yeah, that's what we got. I asked Dad if he wanted to make that test hit, and he said, no, I'll let you do it. It's your truck. So I went ahead and did it. I shifted way early. I probably shifted about 100 feet, and it just bogged down after it got into high. The light's dying over here. It's flashing at me. Yeah, we'll make some little adjustments and probably jet it down or change the pump on the carburetor, accelerator pump. Because if you noticed when I did that first burnout, it was real black under the truck coming out of the exhaust, really rich. So we'll have to monkey with that a little bit, change the tire pressure. I don't know if I'm going to adjust the bars on it or not. I'll probably leave them alone for now. We'll start with one thing at a time and see how it changes it. All right, I guess that's all we got right now. Thank y'all for watching.